And welcome to Ian Thomas. We've got 15 minutes.
Thanks for your patience, everybody. My apologies for that. Loyalty to my company prevents me from raving about the external display capabilities of Windows Vista. But I am able to give you a demonstration, at least in terms of some PowerPoint screenshots of our forthcoming web analytics products. It's disappointing to me that I can't show you the real life thing that we're working on, but never mind. So, what I wanted to talk about today was sort of three major themes that we are looking to address with this web analytics efforts that we're going through. So it's all those we call out for you. Those are the challenge of what we call attribution, working out what marketing it is that is really working for you, and what combination of marketing. The benefits of targeting, of treating your audience as a targeted and segmented group of individuals. And the genuine challenges of web analytics being hard. I completely agree with that. Web analytics is hard. 7 years in the industry myself, dealing with otherwise extremely bright people who just don't have the time, really, to get their heads around some of the concepts involved with web analytics, has taught me that it is not a thing that you can just kind of pick up. It's not kind of like word processing. Not about word processing hard enough, so that's probably a poor analogy. But web analytics is hard, and I think any vendor in this space, particularly when entering this race at this kind of stage, needs to really take that into account. And so then we'll look at what we're going to do about some of these things in the form of the Project Gatineau and some of the features that you can expect to see when we go into beta later this month. This is the first of several new pieces of information I'm sharing today, which is that we will be opening a beta of this product later in September. You could look more impressed.
We haven't seen anything.
Yeah, true, actually.
Besides your computer
that's a fair point. It could be terrible, and we'll be like, well, yeah, okay, fair enough. We'll cheer at the end in that case. So, the challenge of attribution. Well, even sort of medium or moderately sized companies these days who are engaged in the activity of online marketing need to, or are marketing across a number of marketing channels. And existing web analytics solutions, and certainly the reporting solutions embedded in the kinds of systems people are using to deliver that marketing, do a fairly poor job of producing a true picture of what marketing really is working. And in fairness, there's still a lot of kind of almost academic level debate about how to attribute a conversion to a number of different pieces of marketing you might be doing. But let me give you an example. So if you have a user who on Monday the 3rd of September goes to a website or search engine in Belgium and types search for chocolat, they might get a Jacques Chocolat paid search result and click on that. And do nothing more on that website than sign up for the regular email for that company. Then on the 5th of September they come back, or they're using the web again, and they maybe see a banner ad for that same company, but they don't do anything about it, but they do see a banner ad. On the 11th of September, they're sent an email by Jacques saying, we have special offers, whatever, is our regular newsletter. They click through, they still don't buy anything. Then on the 14th of September, perhaps because this person's wife or husband has got a birthday coming up or whatever, they go back to the Jacques website by means of searching on the term Jacques on the search engine, and then clicking through a pay listing that company is paying for its own branded search term, so-called navigational search. And at that point, they spend €150 on chocolate. It's pretty impressive, isn't it? It's going to be fat, but it wants to make it look impressive. So the challenge here is which of these elements drove this conversion, or really accounted for this conversion. And many web analytics solutions, and certainly the embedded reporting inside email marketing systems or things like Google AdWords or affiliate systems and so on will only tell you whether their marketing had anything to do with the conversion, even if it actually wasn't the last thing that happened. So, for example, the person or the ad system that served that banner ad might well come back and go, well, that banner ad been served 11 days ago, 9 days ago. It was great, you've got a conversion of that banner impression because they're not also tracking the email and the subsequent search click-through. Some research done by the Atlas Institute, part of Equantive, now part of Microsoft, discovered earlier this year that duplicate conversion attribution can inflate the cost per acquisition marketing by up to 170%. What that means is that people are paying on average 2.7 times what they should be for CPA marketing because multiple marketing channels are claiming credit for the same conversion. So there's a significant financial incentive for people to fix this problem. Second thing I want to talk about is the benefits of targeting. So here we have two mobile phones. So I'm going to do a quick audience poll. Who prefers the phone on the left? God, my audience poll conceit is quickly failed. Please, somebody put their hand.
Two ladies. Yeah.
Excellent. Who prefers the phone on the right, not taking into account the fact that there's a picture of a dish man on the phone? So we really see there's resistant. So this is a simple example, and it's a real-life example of the benefits of audience, of targeting your audience. So these are two Samsung phones released within a few weeks of each other and promoted through a phone retailer in the UK called Phones for You. And what Phones for You did was they ran, rather than running just a general campaign for both phones and hoping they would reach, in the case of the left phone, stereotypically perhaps a female audience, and in the case of the phone in the black, manly phone on the right, a male audience, they targeted using, as it turns out, ad targeting capability on the MSN network, men and women for these campaigns. And they saw a much better response, as you would expect, by targeting their audience. So having access to that kind of targeting data obviously can improve the effectiveness of online marketing. And here's the third thing. Web analytics is hard, and you've doubtless heard these numbers before. You've either seen Eric's research or of course Eric creating some of this information in his presentation earlier today. But when polled, significant proportions of the web analytics community, and these are people who have the job of web analysts, feel that web analytics is somewhat or extremely difficult, and certainly even a higher proportion feel that web analytics is poorly understood across their organisation. So anything that can help web analytics and these kind of close sibling, what I call kind of media analytics, to be a more visually arresting experience, to be something that people can understand more easily, is going to be well received. So what are we doing about these things? Well, our response to some of these drivers in the market is Project Gatineau, as I've already explained. So Project Gatineau is a project to create a new free web analytics service integrated into Microsoft advertiser toolset. Now, you might be thinking, oh, so this is just going to be about advertising on Microsoft properties like the Live.com search engine or MSN itself. But that's not true. And one of the main reasons I can be very assertive in saying that's not true is because of the recent acquisition of Equantive that Microsoft made. Equantive is a big third-party advertising services provider, which, as a business, serves ads onto a whole variety of websites. Many of them, the vast majority of them, nothing to do with Microsoft. So Microsoft is now officially in the business of helping advertisers to reach their audience through third-party websites. So our motivation is very different from just trying to get people to advertise on our stuff. And you know, the websites we will help people advertise on include competitors to our own media properties. So we include Google, in fact. So when I say this web analytics service integrated with the Microsoft Advertiser toolset, that means that as that toolset evolves, we'll be providing rich analytical capabilities that will help people to make the best of their advertising wherever that advertising is being placed. So it's very much in our interest to present a fair and unbiased and genuinely useful view of how advertising is working across multiple channels, because otherwise there's no use in having a tool like this embedded in a service like this, and people just write it off as biased within 5 minutes. So in terms of the aims of the project, we want to make sure that Gatineau is easy to get up and running. We have some functionality which is still under wraps to help that be the case. One of the key things that we're going to be offering, and I'll show you at least a screenshot of it, sadly not the real thing, is out-of-the-box demographic segmentation audience. That's a world first for web analytics, and something I'll talk about again in a minute. And we want to provide an integrated view of marketing campaign effectiveness. As I say, if you can't take everything into account, you can't really get a picture of what's working and what's not. And the final thing to call out on here is we have an aim to provide innovative visualizations of behavioural data and also campaign data to help people to get a sense of what the data really means in practice. So let's take a look at some screenshots. All breathe in. Oh no, sorry.
Well, come on, there are 3-4 minutes left and we haven't seen anything.
Oh, no, that's not that, do we? So, let's go on then. Yes. So, here's the interface for Gatineau Beta 1. As I say, we will be starting to invite people to this beta. The phones come out. Something
Hey.
No YouTube videos. So this is going to be coming out of Beta 1 in September, as I say. And it will, so this interface, I'll just talk you through a couple of features of it. It's, as you would expect, it's got a list of reports down the left-hand side, sort of a fairly straightforward, familiar web analytics layout. It's integrated into the Microsoft Ad Center UI overall, so it is a Microsoft say part of the advertiser toolkit. We have this quite innovative date navigation control at the top. This shows both traffic for the current week, day, week, month, or day, week, or month period, but also allows you to select a particular day, week, or month to look at in further detail. So it forms both a trend chart and a navigational control at the same time. If I had a live demo, you'd see I'll be able to scroll left and right on here and actually click on one of those months or weeks to select that data. Further down, we have a trend chart of the particular period that's been selected, in this case a week, and below that, obviously, the kind of habit data that again is familiar. This particular report is looking at page activity. One of the features of Gatineau here is that you can overlay a custom taxonomy, for want of a better word, onto your website, so it supports your own data or content categorization. So if you have a content management system, you can integrate that data with Gatineau and show page behavior organized the way that your site is actually organized rather than the apparent URL structure that your site uses. But the really interesting thing that starts to pop out of here, if I go on, oh yeah, so there we go, so there's drilling in, which uses that taxonomy capability, is the segmentation. If you look at the top half of this window of the screen, then if I click on any particular entry in a report, I can segment that entry by one of 4 audience segmentation options: age, gender, occupation, and geographical location. Now the first 3 of those come from the information that we request from people when they sign up for what's called a live ID. It used to be called Microsoft Passport. Now a live ID is, or the information from that live ID is put into a database, and we then generate an anonymous key back to that information, and we provide that anonymous key, provide that anonymous key back to Gatineau for reporting purposes. So there is no personally identifiable information is in the Gatineau system. So no user of Gatineau uses information to extract the actual age or gender of one of their users. But the key benefit here is that you can actually see what proportion of your users are male versus female, or what age brackets they fall into. And that obviously can help you to formulate much more sophisticated marketing campaigns to understand what your audience is actually doing and how that audience that you're targeting is behaving once they're out of the site. So I'm just going to step through some other things we're finishing before Renee Yanks at that stage. So we have a funnel report for analysing progress through a particular process. And as I mentioned before, making these things visually appealing has been a high priority for us so that people can understand the data. The actual numbers in this, if you're wondering, are totally fake data. So there is the 87% dropout rate on the first stage of funnel. That would be slightly amazing. But it will show a visual funnel for progress through a process. And we also have in progress, and this is not in the first beta drop, but it's something that we are working on, and some of the people working on this are in the room, a campaign visualization control, which allows you to visualize the many campaigns you may be working on as this kind of Gantt chart-like representation that you see here. And so the small bars at the top represent individual campaigns, each line being a campaign lasting a certain amount of time. That might be an email campaign, a search campaign, an ad campaign, and so on, or multiple search campaigns, or whatever. The charts at the bottom show the click-throughs in pink, and then the cumulative return on investment of that campaign. So you can see not only how quickly campaigns are returning investment, but also whether campaigns are interfering with each other, so that once you start a new campaign, all the click-throughs from your old campaign just gets sucked up in the new campaign, and you realise that will help you to contextualise why a campaign appears to suddenly fall off the click. We're also working on ways of visualising paths through the website. And again, this isn't going to be in the first drop of the beta, but we're looking at how to help people understand the paths that people are taking both to and from a particular content site. And then we also have some work going on with a tree map-based visualization of content usage on site. Now, for those of you not familiar with tree maps, the size of each individual box on this grid represents the amount of traffic to a particular page. The boxes are organized according to directory. We overlay words like blog and search represent directories or content categories on the site. But the colours can represent another metric, such as time spent on the page, or number of entries of that page, number of exits on that page. So for example, you can use this kind of visualization to see which pages are popular, but ultimately not very valuable, because maybe people are spending not very much time there, or having a high exit rate, or so on. This kind of visualization, again, in the flesh, it's a lot more compelling, because there's a zoom capability. You can see that up at the top, which allows you to zoom in and really look at the content structure of a website in a much more interactive way than using a tree-based navigation system. So, to sign up for the beta, all you have to do is go to advertising.microsoft.com/Gatineau. I'm proud of this called Gatineau, that's a French-sounding word. It's actually the name of the city in Canada, where Metrics, the company we acquired for this technology, was based. So if you go there, you can sign up for the beta. Now, we are ramping the beta in a measured way, so if you sign up today, you may not be asked to use the beta for a few weeks yet, so don't get all antsy on me if you can't get it straight away. But we do tend to get everybody onto the beta as time goes by, so please have patience. And there'll be more coming through the year and so on.
And one thing that he forgot to say that is Ian has got a blog, and if you're looking for Ian's blog, you just need to type in Google, Ian Lies. You say Ian Lies. First result.
You can tell me slide search as well,
actually. Thanks very much, Ian.
Thank you very much.
It's really an honor to be the first conference to have a sneak preview of Gatineau. It will be before the end of the month in beta, so go there.